Good morning children. I Anu Dhariwal welcome you all to the class. Children, as you know, we are discussing chapter 2 titled A Gift of Chappals from your NCERT textbook Honeycomb. In the last session children, we read about how Ravi had to steal the milk for the little kitten, how he had to go back and wash the tumbler again. So let's begin with the story. Let's move ahead with it. I had to run and pour the milk into this coconut shell and then run back and wash the tumbler and put it back before she got really suspicious. Who got suspicious? His grandmother. So he says that whenever I have to get the milk for this little kitten, then again I have to run back after giving him the milk to wash off the tumbler so that his grandmother does not be suspicious. Now we have to think of some other way to feed Mahindran. Mahindran. This little kitty's name is Mahindran. So everyone was surprised, who is Mahindran here? So Ravi said, this little kitty's name is Mahindran. Mridu was impressed. It was a real name, not just a cute kitty cat name. So it was a real name, not a cute kitty's name. Actually, his full name is Mahendra Verma Pallav Pune, MP Pune for short if you like. So they gave him a name, that is, his full name is Mahendra Verma Pallav Pune, and in short they would be calling him MP Pune. He is a fine breed of cat. Just look at his fur like a lion's mane, and you know what the emblem of the ancient Pallav kings was, don't you? He looked expectantly at Mridu. So he said, do you know what was the ancient emblem of the Pallav kings? Do you know it? Mridu giggled. She was laughing at him. Think I'm joking? He asked. You think I'm joking? Well, just wait. I'll show you sometime. It's clear you don't know a thing about history. Haven't been to Mahabalipuram, have you? He said mysteriously. Well, when our class went to Mahabalipuram, I saw a statue of his Thatas. Now what is a Thatha, children? In the earlier session also I told you, Thatha in Tamil refers to grandfather. You can see the meaning on the left hand side. So he said, I saw the statue of his Thatas, etc., etc. Fact is, Mahindran here is descended from that very same ancient cat. Descendant is a descendant of or comes from the same family. So he is comparing that Mahindran here, this MP Pune little kitten, is the descendant of that cat whose statue he saw in Mahabalipuram. A close relative, scientifically speaking, of none other than the lion. So he says this cat is a descendant of none other than the lion. The Pallav lion, emblem of the Pallav dynasty. Ravi went on walking around the bitter berry bush, waving a twig up and down. He was having a little like stick kind of in his hand, and he was waving it up and down while he was moving around and speaking, talking to them. This cat is a descendant of none other than the Mahabalipuram Rishi cat. He says this cat is the descendant of Mahabalipuram Rishi cat. And if I may just remind you, they worshipped cats in ancient Egypt. So children, I hope all of you know this, that in ancient Egypt, people in Egypt used to worship cats. Some of them still do. How he loved the sound of his own voice. Meena and Mridu exchanged looks. Meena and Mridu were looking at each other. What is he talking about? What does that have to do with anything? So Mridu asked, why are you talking all this? What does this have to do with anything? I am telling you, this cat is descended from the Egyptian cat god. No, goddess. Bastard. Yeah, that's it. So he said, I know this cat is the descendant of the Egyptian cat god or goddess. So they said, so? Well, one of the descendants of that cat goddess was a stowaway in one of the Pallav ships, and his descendant was the Mahabalipuram Rishi cat, whose descendant is Ravi flourished his twig at Mahendran. So he was pointing the twig at Mahendran and he said that Mahabalipuram's Rishikesh descendant is MP Pune here. Whoop, eek. He shrieked, very pleased with himself. He was so happy that he had at last figured it out, whose descendant was MP Pune. Children, stowaway means someone who hides himself or herself in a ship or an aircraft to travel unnoticed. You can see the meaning on the right hand side. Mahendran looked up alarmed. He was alarmed now. He had just been sharpening his claws on the edge of the coconut shell. So he was sharpening his claws on the edge of the coconut shell. Suddenly he was alarmed by a noise. But worse than Ravi's awful whoop eek was a screech from the window. You know, when you scratch a window, the sound that comes, it sounds like a screech. What a weird sound. If Mridu was startled, MP Pune was frightened out of his wits. Hair standing on end, he bounced up and scurried towards a bamboo tray of red chilies that had been set out to dry. So children, Mridu was surprised, she was startled, and MP Pune was frightened. Have you seen a frightened cat, how their hair stands up, right? So hair standing on end, and the cat bounced up towards a bamboo tray on which there were lying red chilies. Trying to hide beneath it, he tripped a few chilies over himself. Meow, he howled miserably. So when he was trying to hide, by mistake he tripped few chilies over himself, and he took out a noise, said meow. The screeching went on and on. What's that noise? Said Mridu. That's Lali learning to play the violin, grunted Ravi. So he said she's learning to play the violin. She'll never learn a thing. The music master just goes on playing like a train whizzing on and on, while Lali is all the time derailing, going completely off track. So he says that she will never learn a thing. She is always derailing, she is always going off the track. She can't play properly. So this was part 1 of this chapter, children. We have finished part 1. In the next session, we will be doing part 2. Till then, stay home, stay safe, take care. Thank you.